duplicate the screen. Okay, fine. So in the last class, we discussed about Oracle VirtualBox installation, Oracle Virtual Machine creation, installing Windows operating system. Yesterday, especially, we discussed how to set up remote connections, what is meant by RDP, how to connect to the servers, okay, in the organization using remote desktop connection, RDP or RDC, right? How to find the IP address of the machine. So a lot of things we discussed yesterday, right? So any issues, any doubts in the last class? Anyone having any issues? Any issues, any doubts, guys, in the last class? Is it clear? Fine, right? I can proceed, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, done. Just please respond, okay? In case if I ask any questions, please respond. Why? Because I may think might be you're not able to hear me. Okay, so in case if I ask any questions, just please respond. Okay, fine.
Yes.
So let's connect to the server. Let's start the machine. Okay, so what we are going to discuss today, we'll discuss a SQL Server installation. So what is the prerequisite for installing the SQL Server, guys? Let me start the machine. This is our machine, batch 40. Let me start the machine. Yeah, tell me. So what are the prerequisites? Yeah, tell me.
Need to install
.NET framework.
.NET framework. Okay, so like from where we can install .NET framework?
We can install .NET from Windows Server, sir.
From Windows Server only. Windows Server, where exactly?
Server Manager.
Server Manager. So we are going to use the tool Server Manager. Using the tool, you can open Server Manager. Okay. So once you open Server Manager, there you can see, okay, add features. Then you can select the .NET framework features and next. At the end of the screen, you have to select the path, from which path you want to install the .NET framework. Okay, D:\/ sources / capital S small x capital S \. Okay, this is the exact path. Okay, so again, as we are connected, yeah, tell me, sir.
Sir, for everyone is that path only. For every system, it will change.
See, I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. So 99% is the same path will be there. First thing. Second thing is, in the organization, we are not going to install the .NET framework. In case if you don't have .NET framework, first thing you have to do is you have to inform to Windows team. Okay. So
They are going
Windows
to
team,
install. Okay.
yeah, they will attach the software and they are going to install it by attaching the software. So nothing to worry here. In case if you are not authorized person and you don't have access also to install .NET framework sometimes. Okay, so immediately what you have to do is you have to inform to the Windows team. If you have access, if you can do it, what you can do, again, see here the problem is the software. Where you will get the Windows Server software? Windows people won't give you, right? Those
Yes.
softwares will be there in the Windows shared location. Windows shared location, you don't have access. Okay, so a lot of challenges involved in installing .NET framework by SQL DBA team. So immediately you have to let particular Windows team know so that they are going to install the .NET framework. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So once they attach it there, they will have their own methods. Either they will attach the ISO image or they will copy the Windows Server operating system to the C drive. It depends upon the path. In which path your Windows operating system is there, you have to change the drive letter. Okay. Right. Fine. What is the command we use to find out the IP address of the machine?
IP config.
IP config. Where we are going to type this IP config?
Command prompt.
Command prompt. Very good. Okay. So command prompt you have to open and you have to open this. You have to type this IP config without any spaces. Then you will get the IP address. Which IP address we have to consider? IPv4, IPv6, IPv default gateway.
IPv4.
Okay. So like this, you can see, right? Once I logged into the server, you can see Server Manager. Automatically it will open. And if you don't see it, see here. Can you see the taskbar now? Srinivas?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the taskbar. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
on this taskbar, you can see here, and automatically, in case if someone closed or if you close it by mistake, okay, still you can access from this taskbar. Okay, this is your server manager, and you can just click on the server manager. You can open it automatically. This one will open, guys. Okay, when you log into the server, automatically server manager will open. As we don't have any work, usually we are going to close the server manager. Okay, right. So as we are connected to the internet, my virtual machine and my laptop both are connected to the same Wi-Fi. Okay. So what
Right.
happened? This server, please mute it in case if you don't have questions. This server is connected to the internet. As it is connected to the internet, the IP address of the server is going to change regularly. But in the organization, you don't feel this kind of experience. In the organization, fixed IP addresses will be there. IP addresses of the servers won't be changed. Here, the server is connected to the internet, so the IP address is going to change regularly. Okay, so today it will be 192.160.160.0.104. Tomorrow it will be 106. Day after tomorrow it will be 105. We don't know what is the exact IP address. Okay, so what we have to do, first turn on the machine. First check the IP address, IPv4 IP address. Once we know the IP address, then we can connect to the server using IP address. Clear, guys? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so or else what we can do, let me check whether we can connect using computer name or not. So how to find the computer name, guys?
Host name.
Host name, very good. Okay, open command prompt, just type host name is one thing, or else go to this PC properties. There also you can see computer name. Okay, this PC properties, there also you can see computer name. This is your computer name. Okay, this is your computer name. So what we can do is, let me open remote desktop console. What I did is simply I just type remote desktop console. Every time, why to waste the time by typing remote console? First time I'll type this remote console, right click, pin to taskbar. Okay, as it is already there on the taskbar, it is showing unpin from taskbar. Okay, so if you don't pin to taskbar, you can see one option, pin to taskbar. So automatically it will be pinned to your taskbar. It will be there. Okay, just a tool will be there. Every time you can simply click on it and you can give the IP address or server name. Okay, let me type this server name. I cannot copy paste. Okay, from local to this. If you connected to the server remotely, you can copy paste from your local laptop to the Windows server. Okay, right? And guys, what are the famous VPN softwares are there in the market?
Global Protect.
Very good.
Pulse Secure.
Very good.
Cisco.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So these are the different VPN softwares. VPN softwares basically used to bridge a network between your office network and your home internet. Okay. It will create a bridge between your office network and a home internet. Okay. So VPN is very important if you are doing work from home. Okay, fine. So let me try typing this server name win-2F0M6O33. Okay, so
zero.
it's not zero. You can see here zero will have a line. Yeah, this is the O. Okay, let me try connecting. I am not sure whether we can connect with computer name or not.
Is it capital O or small O, sir?
Small words, that's not an issue. Capital, small, not an issue. Okay. Win2F0, right? Win-2F0 GMGN. Yeah.
F0, sir, that is.
GMGN 6033. Yes. Yeah, we can use computer name also. Okay. Now, see, we can use computer name also, but in our setup, whether it is possible or not, I never tried. I use it to use this IP address only. Okay, if you use computer name, that's not an issue. No need to check every time what is the computer name and all. Computer name will be already registered. If you are connecting using IP address, guys, today you may connect, tomorrow it will be failed. Okay, that means what? Might be your IP address is changed. Why? Because we use it to practice with Wi-Fi once. We use it to practice with mobile hotspot. If there is no power, we'll connect to the mobile hotspot. And again, guys, very important thing is internet should be there to connect to the server remotely. Okay, without internet, you cannot connect to the server remotely. For our
Yes.
practice, without internet, you cannot. So in case if you get the error, sir, I'm not unable to connect using remotely, that means might be you don't have internet. Your local server, your local laptop, and your Windows server both are connected using the internet only. If there is no internet, you cannot practice remote desktop connection. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first thing. Second thing, okay, you are connected to the Wi-Fi. Okay, now I am connected to the Wi-Fi. Okay, suddenly power gone. There is no power. Now immediately I turned on I just connected to my mobile hotspot. Okay, internet is there, but as you changed the network, the server net IP address is also going to change. But you are connected using the old IP address. Okay, so what happened in that case? Again, the connection will be broken, and again the remote desktop connection will be closed. What is the solution for this? You have to restart your virtual machine, not your laptop. Okay,
Right.
restart your virtual machine. You will get a new IP address. Then use that new IP address to connect to the server remotely. In case if that is also not
ఒరే
working,
హైట్ ఉన్నాడు దానికి
please mute it. In case if that is
మనోడు
also,
అంత హైట్ లేడు ఆ బండికి
please mute it. Who is that? Let me mute everyone. Okay. In case if you have questions, you can ask me. Fine, thank you. And yes, what we are discussing, IP address, right? So yes, if you restart the machine, you will get the new IP address. Use that new IP address to connect to the server. If that is also not working, then restart your whole laptop. Restart your whole laptop, and of course your virtual machine is also going to restart. Okay, then you can connect to the server remotely. These are the challenges we'll get while connecting to the server remotely. Clear, everyone? Fine, right? So one thing you have to consider is internet is very important. Internet should be there to connect to the server remotely. In case if your Wi-Fi is gone, if there is no power, if you are connected to the mobile hotspot, then again what you have to do, you have to again restart your virtual machine. If it's not, and find the new IP address and then try to connect with the new IP address. If that is also not working, restart your whole laptop and then again try connecting the same whatever methods we discussed. Try connecting with the same method, right? Okay, fine. Right, 1 minute, guys, just 1 minute.
Sir, is server system required internet?
Sorry. Yes, in the organization we will have intranet as discussed yesterday. Okay, intranet will be there. Servers usually in the organization, servers doesn't have any internet and all. You don't get any internet for your servers in those servers and all. Okay, but
I'm
those
saying
servers
about
will be
work from home.
yes, but those servers and all will be connected using intranet. Intranet means connecting each computer in the network. That is called intranet. Okay, your Xerox machine, your printer machines, your fax, and your servers, all are connected to the single network that is called intranet. Okay, fine. If it is connected to the public network like Airtel or else like BSNL, okay, or else JioFiberNet, Hathway, that is your internet. Okay, so 90%, 99%, usually your servers doesn't have any internet. Okay, they are all connected using intranet only, so you don't get internet. Okay, so let me give the username. My username is administrator. First time I'm giving, right? So that's why I have to give username and password. Next time and all, just simply give the password. Once successful connection established. Okay, let me give the password of this server. I'm not giving my laptop password, guys. I'm giving the server password. Okay. See, once I click OK, once it establishes remote connections, this Windows server will be locked. Okay, either direct connection will work or else remote connections will work. Okay, let me click OK. Just click yes. Right. So now I connected to the server remotely, and if you see now, this is locked, right? Earlier you can see command prompt and all, right? Now this is locked. If you just again logged into this server, okay, your remote connection will be closed. Got it? And again, one more important thing. At any moment, you want to check who and all connected to this server. Okay, at any moment, say for example, you are patching the server, guys. While patching, what you have to do, you have to restart the Windows server. While restarting Windows server, you just want to check who are all connected to this Windows server. How can we check, guys? Can anyone tell me? How can we check who are all connected, who all other members connected to this server? Okay, so go to your task manager. Okay, right, open this task manager, go to more details, go to user section, and here you can see, okay, here you can see administrator, right? So as of now, only administrator is connected to this server. Let's say for example, someone from our team, Nam Dev connected, okay, if Dev is connected to this server, then you can see his login name. If Dev is connected using his name Dev and his password, then you can see the Dev name here. Okay, if Anis connected, you can see Anis name here. Okay, if Girija connected, you can see Girija name here. So who and all connected, what login they use it to connect. Okay, you can see their login name. Okay, login name might be different and their name might be different. Okay, login name usually it will be in shortcuts. Okay, so this is the way to check who are other users connected to this machine. You see, this is important while restarting the server. It's very important. And sometimes, guys, always your remote connections, this RDP is there, right? At a time, only 2 persons can connect to the server remotely. Guys, this is very important point. At a time, only 2 persons can connect to the server remotely. If third person is connected, one person has to close his connection. Our third person will get a screen. Say for example, Dev connected to the server and Anis connected to the server. Now Girija is trying to connect to the server remotely. Now Girija will get a pop-up. Dev and Anis both are connected to the server. To which connection you want me to kill? Which connection you want me to kill? Okay, if you select Dev connection will be killed and Girija will be entered into the server. If Girija selected Anis connection will be killed, and on behalf of Anis and Anis will be disconnected. Girija will be connected to the server. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay, at a time, 2 persons, 2 active connections will be there for the remote server. If any third person is trying to connect, you will get a pop-up who and all connected to the server, and you have to kill one session. But guys, this is very important. Don't kill any session. In case if he's your colleague, ping him. Okay, hi Anis, I want to connect to the server. Seems you are already connected. Can I get the connection? Ask Anis. Anis means like the person, user. Okay. In the same way, don't kill any sessions, guys. Might be he's doing some important activity. If you suddenly kill his session, it's difficult, right? Sometimes managers will be connected without letting them know. If you killed manager session, team lead session, it will be escalated. Okay, so don't kill any connections. If you see that pop up, if 2 users are already connected, ping anyone, ask them, do you have a work on this server? If not, let me in. I am going to complete my activity. Then you can complete your activity. Like that, you have to request them. If there is no work, some people what they will do, morning itself, or else when the shift started, they will connect to the server. They don't perform any activity, but they will keep on like connected to the server. In that case, what you can do, you can ping them and you can ask them to log off. They are going to log off. All right, guys, I have connected to very important questions to all of you. I have connected to the server. My work is completed. What I have to do now once my work is completed? I have to shut down the server.
Log off.
Sir,
Yes.
you
No.
have to sign up, sir.
You can
Sorry.
close directly
Sign up.
this one.
Log
Sir,
out.
sign up,
Log
sir.
off.
Okay. So the answer is log off, guys. Now I'll tell you one more important thing. Someone said you can directly close the connection. Okay, right. So what is the impact if we directly close the connection? What is the impact if we log off from the server? Can anyone tell me the difference between disconnect and log off? This is disconnect. Directly close means disconnect. Okay, if you place your cursor, you can see disconnect option. Now it is not showing, but usually this is disconnect. Okay, log off means you can log off from the server. What is the difference between these two, guys?
Other user is not able to
log
connect
off
server.
means the person who is connected, that person only remove, log off from the particular server. So that we are asking for close the server. Shut down the server.
Okay.
So no one has to proceed the server. I
Okay.
think.
No, that is not correct answer. Guys, can anyone tell me?
Sir, if sir, log off means only particular the person who will log in that server is logging off from the system, but not
Okay.
it's not harmful to the system. But if we shut down the system, then system server will go stop for some time, and there is the possibility of data loss.
Okay. Okay, let me explain. Okay, so what is meant by disconnect? This is disconnect. Okay, what is meant by log off? Log off means go to your Windows button. Your power button is there, right? Okay, this you can see. Again, you can see disconnect. Okay, here also you can see disconnect, shut down, restart. Never ever shut down the server. Never ever shut down the server. If you shut down the server, that is your last day. You can no need to wait for your HR response. Also, you can directly, okay, whatever belongings are there in the office, you can take those belongings and you can come out. Okay, never ever shut down the server. Never ever shut down the server. There are no, guys, please mute it. There are no activities to shut down the server. Shutdowning the server is the responsibility of the Windows team. We will restart during some activities like patching and all, or to fix any issue. We will restart. If you shut down, you are going to lose the control on the machine completely. Again, some Windows guy has to come and he has to start the server. If you shut down the server, if you restart the server, it will be restarted. Might be you will lose connection for a while. Might be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Again, the server will be back and you can connect. And that too, it's not like you can restart the server. For restarting server also, you have to take lot of approvals. If everyone approved, then only you have to go for restart. It's not like, chalo, I got this issue. Once I restart the Google, you just find out the answer. If you restart the server, the issue will be fixed. Then go to the server. If you restarted the server at any time, that's it. Okay, so don't forget about shutdown option. There is no shutdown. Okay, we are not going to do any shutdown of the server. A restart will do sometimes while patching and while fixing the issues. But again, for this restart, you have to